What's up, guys? Just got back from vacation and it's time to clean out the truck, but we're not just going to clean it out. Alright, we're going to take it to a whole other level, because while I'm here, what better time than now to start showing this thing some TLC. Okay, look at it. It's got rust holes, and we're just going to focus on the interior right now because that's where we spend all of our time, right? Pay attention. There's a couple things you can learn from this video, and you might find some disturbing truths about your own vehicle. I mean, come here. Look at this thing. Absolute mess in here. We got sand, piles of sand. Look at that. Wow. And the first thing we're gonna do is to show your brother some support by heading to the website nomorenonsense.org and grabbing anything from the site. That's the best way to show your support. And you could obviously hit that like and subscribe button. It'll do wonders in helping me reach more people. The first giveaway went off without a hitch, and I'd like to do another one really soon, but I can't do it without your support. So if you're already supporting, tell your people where to find the valuable knowledge at. And thank you. I haven't dropped a video in a while, but I'm a busy man and I'm a one-man show. I've been out here building houses for people, as well as organizing a whole variety of other projects to come, which really just means 1,000,001 more reasons for you to like and subscribe to the channel. Do it already. What are you waiting for? I really want to ramp up these giveaways and use my talents, my knowledge, my skills, and success to give back to my supporters in much bigger ways than motorcycles, potentially life-changing ways, while providing them with those very things. Just as I have already for many people in many different ways. And the way I'm doing these giveaways is sick. It's unlike any of the other ones you've seen. Alright, I'm doing this sick rollover feature that I can't reveal all the details about yet publicly, but essentially the longer you're with me and the more you support me, the higher your odds of winning one of these special events that I'm holding can be. It's a great way to ensure that my supporters are always getting something back. And that's why I do not ask anyone to just donate money or buy your entries. Alright, I want everybody to get something in return, even if it's just a hoodie to keep you warm. And yes, I do need to make money. And you need to understand that too. That's why I'll be offering memberships on my website soon, where we can go over the finer details of how to do all this and how you can do this for yourself as well. But for me, it's a lot deeper than just making money. That's why I'm doing this, because I want to build a community of like-minded knowledge seekers who also want to share their knowledge, regardless of what it entails, and I want to help you to do that. That's why it's deeper than just making money for me, because I really believe I was put here for a purpose and I have something to offer. Even everything that you see on the site, I took the time to design myself, and everything to come will only be things that I created. I want to help you do the same, and if you're supporting me, I want you to know that I see that. I see you. You believe in me, you're supporting me, and you got my back, then I want you to know that someone's got your back too. And I want to be able to return and compound those effects, even if it's just for my supporters. I'd also really love to build this channel and this business up, so every little bit of support helps me in creating these videos and bringing more useful knowledge to you more efficiently. Obviously, nobody gets left behind, so any purchases made from now to the next giveaway will automatically qualify you. There's always a cash prize alternative, so if you don't like the grand prize, you can always choose the dough instead. Look guys, I know the main focus of my channel is teaching people skills, how to be independent, successful, and as unreliant on other people as possible. But with that said, I do truly understand the value of other people, their thoughts, their ideas, their knowledge, and much more, especially if they're supporting you. Even just two heads, for the most part, can be greater than one, and sometimes it's the tiniest idea from another combined with the knowledge that you have that has the power to completely change the course of your life. So one thing that I know for certain is that I can't do this without you guys, so I really appreciate the support. Anyway, let's get back to this truck, and the first thing that we really need to do is take out these floor mats and everything else in the vehicle. All the tools, everything underneath the seats, everything. Clear it out. Shake these out. hose them down. Do I really need to explain how to clean one of these? Do your thing. Next, we're gonna vacuum it out, obviously, and we're only gonna focus on the heavy stuff because we are gonna do this again when we do a fine cleaning. But come here, switch spots with me. Now, I hyperlapsed certain sections of the video anytime I'm doing a redundant task. That way, you guys can actually see the progress as it's happening. The progress of the transformation. Let's get the rest of it. This way you can also see the whole process, and I'll comment and leave tips on anything I'm doing that may not be obvious to the naked eye. So hopefully you'll pay attention and learn something new. Alright, we're all vacuumed out and we should be all clean now, right? It looks so much better. But we're actually really far from clean. A good vacuum job can actually be quite deceptive. So let's take things up a notch. The next thing I'm gonna do is remove these seats. That may not be necessary for everyone, but this thing is about 25 years old now, so it's time for a deep cleaning. Alright, let's get right in here. Like I said, this might not be necessary for everyone, but I want to do a deep cleaning. So doing this will allow me to clean it in the future with a lot more ease and ensure that I have a truly clean vehicle when I'm done, using pretty much my knife basic tools. Most seats are held down by bolts, obviously, and they're covered by little decorative caps. Most of these caps come off with basic tools. Boom, easy. Slide it forward. Same thing on the back. I'm sure these probably go sideways. Yep. Look at that. Oh, okay. I see. I see. That's an easy one. And just like we're doing right now, I previously made some changes so that these rear seats came out a lot easier if I ever needed to haul some things around. With basic tools here, pop the protective cover off. Here we go. And I swapped these pins out here just to make things easier, because instead of the hard to remove permanent clamps that held this pin in place, I replaced it with a clip that I could easily remove with tools that I carry on myself. Fortunately, my knife is the perfect size. That comes right out. Same thing here, and the seats are gone. Then you obviously have access to the backrest as well. Let's get it done. This should speed things up. And it sure did. Guys, power tools are a great way to speed up the project. Here I am taking the seats out, and in this case I'm just using a basic 1/4 inch drive impact gun. I'm a big fan of using them to speed up the time it takes to take something apart, but when putting something back together, always start and finish by hand. Otherwise it's way too easy to strip out threads, and that's a rookie move. Alright, let's take a peek at all the things that the vacuum missed here. Look at that, we got some dog fur and leaves. And if you have one of these, my audio heads know what this is. You're gonna want to disconnect it if you're doing what I'm doing, and disconnect the positive terminal, because we will be filling this thing with water. We're gonna continue to take everything else apart that would potentially be holding down the carpet. Because this is primarily going to be used as an off-road vehicle, I'm going to make strategic cuts in the carpet so that it's easily removable, even with the seats still in place, so that in the future I can easily clean this thing without doing all this extra work and taking everything apart. It'll also give me access to something that a lot of modern cars might not even have, but if you wanted to, you can add yourself. At the very least, it's one way to ensure your car is really clean. I have some tools right here, so let's clean this up and remove everything that we need to, and then we can make our strategic cuts to make future cleaning a breeze. So we start with the easy things like the amp, and then move on to the more complicated pieces to take out. But as I was doing this, I was also thinking about where I was going to make the cuts in my carpet. I've done this before, and I usually do about 4 different sections. But my other trucks are a little bit smaller, and all of this is usually determined by how the vehicle is laid out in the first place. Here you can see me using a variety of different scissors. The smaller ones were easier to make the corners and the turns in all the cuts before I would switch to the bigger scissors and make my long straight runs. The hardest part was getting started, and the smaller scissors worked better for that because of how taut the carpet was. But the more cuts that I made, the more I was able to manipulate the scissors and do what I needed to do. And ain't that just a metaphor for life? It's always hardest getting started, but once you get started, you'd be surprised at what you can accomplish. So don't hesitate to get started on your projects. The time is now. Well, after this video anyway. Check this out. I'm gonna use the imprint of where the seat's set. Cut out this whole section so that the seat doesn't sit on top of the carpet at all, and the carpet will come out even with the seats in. The carpet will lay around the foot of the seat. These are some of the most important cuts, and this is what is going to give me the ability to remove the carpets while the seats are still in place, which once you watch the rest of this video, you'll see why this is so beneficial. Now that I have the carpets out, I can go through, vacuum everything up, and see exactly what we're working with. Alright, check out some of these hidden features. Drain plugs. You could easily add these yourself with a little hole saw, and they're very easy to remove. Just give them a little pop, and now hopefully you're starting to see why it's going to be so easy to clean this thing out in the future. You know what's coming next, right? You're going to need a shop vac for this, and you're going to remove the filter and empty it out. You're also going to want a handy little bucket, a sponge, a scrubby, and some cleaner. I'm using an all-purpose cleaner with the smells. Alright, so now things get a little bit interesting. You might be thinking, what is he doing? But I assure you, it's okay. Alright, I am being mindful of all of the electronics. As you can see, the areas where I'm spraying the water is pretty controlled, and I'm limiting how much is soaking the wires. Also, as stated, everything is off as a safety precaution. So just be mindful of your electronics. And even if you do get them a little wet, don't worry about it. It's okay, and you'll find out why in just a moment. Check it out, look at all this dirty water. Pretty gross, right? Considering I didn't even scrub this side yet. This is just the water that accumulated over here. But now you can understand why. From now on, it's going to be easy to just flush it all away. You can see all the dirt and muck everywhere. Look at how easy all of this becomes. You don't realize how much dirt is hidden beneath and trapped under your carpets. So, making them removable gives you easy access to cleanliness. It's literally no different than sponging down the outside of your vehicle. And then of course, giving everything a good rinse. With the drain plugs exposed or installed yourself, you can really keep your vehicle clean. And you might think this is overkill, but look, when I say clean, I mean clean. This is what we're doing. We don't cut corners here. It's no more nonsense, alright? It doesn't matter what job we're doing it in the proper fashion. Anyway, remember how I said you didn't need to worry about getting some of your electrical components wet? This is why. Because we're going to use the vacuum to dry out the vehicle, and you can can use the vacuum to pull all of the water away from the wires and even out of the electrical connectors. We're not going to waste our time with towels. Once they absorb water, you're just going to be moving more water around. The vacuum will actively remove the water, leaving such a small amount behind that by the time you get to putting everything back together, everything will already be completely dry. So you want to start up at the highest points and then work your way down to the lowest points, because water runs to the lowest spot, right? And you don't want to be vacuuming the same point over and over again. Just make sure to periodically check the level of water inside your shop vac, okay? Especially if you don't remove the carpets or don't have drain plugs. You can still do this and remove all of the water with the shop vac. You don't want to overfill it, because that's a fast way to short the thing out and lose a shop vac. I've never done it, but I have seen it done to brand new, pretty nice shop vacs. And quite honestly, the way some people treat their tools really blows my mind. Treat your tools well, okay? Treat them as if they're helping you, because that's exactly what they're doing. And in many cases, they are the whole reason that certain ideas, projects, or jobs are even possible in the first place. So take my advice if you never want to have a problem. And you know what I would tell people is don't let your shop vac fill up past halfway. But hey, in my experience, people are bad at listening and worse at taking care of things. Alright, look at this. It's actually got a nice shine to it. We're finally starting to get somewhere actually clean. I'm just gonna touch up a couple areas here with some epoxy and paint. Just look at how beautiful everything turned out. Honestly, after everything's been cleaned, I've realized that the interior of this thing is in a lot better shape than I originally presumed. And the vehicle as a whole is definitely starting to grow on me. But now it's time to move on to the seats. So we'll need our shop vac, sponge, and a brush. All the same tools and supplies. You can see visible staining here. Look at that. Disgusting. See all the discoloration here? All over the seat. We got a nice stain here, you can see. Look at the difference between one that was cleaned and one that wasn't. There's a visible color difference. This seat is especially dirty because it's the driver's seat and all the fibers feel worn out. And this here, I mean, sweat, skin, concrete, grease, who knows? The fabric's like hard. Look at that. Gross. So we're gonna try to clean this one up too. Hopefully we can get it back to the original look. Wow, look at the color difference. Another thing I want to do is pull these plastics on the side here off. It looks like there's a screw here. And that's helping with the little clip. So we'll take that off, get the cleaning. So this method of cleaning seats may seem a little unconventional, but I actually came up with it simply just by studying how a steam cleaner worked as I was using one. This thing is just pumping some hot water and soap into the fabric with a little scrub brush on the end that you could use to loosen the dirt, and then vacuuming it all back up into the machine. Obviously the hot water will accelerate how quickly the dirt will break down, but water and soap in general, especially if you have a little bit of time, will do the job no matter what. So I thought to myself, there has to be a way to make this more efficient. So why did I come up with this method? Because the steam cleaners could only hold so much water and so much soap. So it really limited the efficiency and how much work you could get done at any given time. So I thought to myself, I need more water, more soap, and more suction. So my solution was a hose, a bucket of soap, and a shop vac. More power all the way around. Let's get to it. Check this out real quick. Ugh, nasty. We'll clean it all up though. Alright, now we're gonna take our bucket of water and the sponge. Start to get some of this soapy water absorbed into the seat here. just applying the soap. Then we're gonna hose it down. More of a soaking, not really a rinse, just to allow some of that soapy water to penetrate. Light soak. And then one more coat of soap and water. Time for this guy. This is where the cleaning happens. Make sure you're prepared for an arm workout. Unless you have a brush attachment for a drill. Highly recommended. This is like the most important part. Grab a nice, strong brush. And scrub the heck out of these fibers. Get a good grip on it. Sometimes these handles, I mean, that wears out your hand pretty quick. You just grab it here. You got the power. See that? Beautiful. Now some of the magic happens. This part really does feel like magic, and it is oh so satisfying to watch. I mean, here you can actually see the colors coming to life and a lot of the dirt being removed. I'll usually do like a triple cycle wash with 2 rinses and then vacuum between each rinse. Each time you vacuum and rinse, you can see more and more dirt being pulled out and the colors of the fabric coming back to life. But it really depends on how dirty your vehicle is and your preference, along with how much time you have. But as I said, this vehicle is pretty old, and who knows who is sitting in these seats before doing who knows what. Could be any of the weird things that people do. Most certainly pumping a bunch of farts into them. Yeah, I bet you didn't think about that. You're driving around in your used vehicle with the seats pumped full of farts that you didn't put there from the stinky booty of someone you don't even want to imagine. Did you think of that, huh? Did you think of that? Pretty gross, man. Wash your vehicle. Well, the colors are a little bit more vibrant now. It smells a lot better, and the fibers feel a lot softer now as well. So let's leave it out in the sun for a while to dry and get to the other seats. I mean, just look at the color of the water. Just from hosing it. Oh. Disgusting. The camera never does justice to reality, but that water was brown. This is the driver's seat, the one that was really stained, and it was so dirty that just some water pressure alone washed away so much of the dirt. I used the wash, rinse, repeat method so many times on this seat, and you can see the fabric getting its uniform color back, along with it coming out much brighter each time I vacuum it. And once the original color was restored, I could then see individual areas that needed some spot cleaning. Another great benefit to using this method is that the vacuum doesn't just pull dirt out of the seats, but it also pulls the water out, so you'd really be surprised at how quickly everything dries once you're finished. Whatever you do, don't get frustrated. Take your time, turn on some music, enjoy yourself, and focus on the task at hand. I know that may be hard if you're under 30 years old, but don't worry about anything else that's going on. Pay attention to the little details. Follow your project through to completion, and you'll be proud of what you accomplished. What's even more beautiful is that this helps you to appreciate the little things, and that's how we stay happy, my friends, through appreciation. Alright, we're going to use the same process for the carpet here. Soak them, soap them, scrub them down, and vacuum everything out. Because they have a waterproof barrier between the insulation and the actual carpet material, I'm going to do my best to keep this dry. It'll just speed up my overall dry time and allow me to put everything back together a lot easier. Another thing that I'm going to do is, you see these little flaps here? This excess material, this is all material that gets tucked underneath the plastic, so I'm also going to trim that away. That way when I'm removing the carpets, they don't get hung up as much and they're easy to pull right out. Soak it down, a lot of dirt comes out with the water, fight off some mosquitoes, and soap it up. Look at that. Beautiful. Much easier to clean than the floor mats. Remember what I said about the vacuum and dry time? This thing's already pretty much dry to the touch here. Beautiful. It smells wonderful now too. Now the moment you've waited for. Alright, look at this filth. Ugh. It's like if someone made cocoa with water instead of milk. Gross. Yeah, that's a dead mouse. Now look at the difference between a floor mat and an already clean section of carpet. I use the same method for the floor mats, using the sponge to apply the soap and the brush to scrub all the dirt free before hosing everything down to rinse it. You can see the one closest to the drain is an absolute mess, and it took me a number of scrubs and rinses to get this thing clean. And I'm not entirely sure how one of the rear floor mats was so much dirtier than all the rest of them. Kids? Soccer practice? Who knows? One thing I knew is that I was going to clean all the plastics and everything else that I took out. And there's just one more thing I wanted to do before we started putting everything back together. And that is to finally put some good speakers in here. I built a custom box that doesn't take up much room for a spare sub I had laying around. It wasn't crucial to change the speakers then, but I finally got some new ones, and at that time, all the speakers did work properly. And in order to put that speaker in, I had to take that box out. So while everything was empty, I figured what better time. Then I moved to the other side here. And of course, don't forget to wash your panels while they're out. Running out of daylight. This is one of those triangle, square peg in the triangle hole things. Give it a twist. Boom. You can tell the difference in the color. It's getting kind of dark. This one's got more of like a brown, dirty color. This one's definitely a little more blue. And once all your speakers are in and the panels are clean, we can finally move on to putting this thing back together. Now I have 5 sections here, so I'm going to start by just laying out the middle. This just makes it easy while it's empty. You don't have to reach over anything or worry about dirtying any of the carpets that I already put down. It really is just as simple as putting everything back in place and tucking it underneath the respective areas. Oh yeah, I can already feel it, just checking to see how everything fits here. Moving on to another carpet, and this is probably the most difficult of the bunch, simply because the amp is located on this side. But is it really that difficult to just lift it up, feed the wires through the hole, and let the carpet lay back down into place? That's the most of our problems? Oh, real challenging. Remember, we thought out the cuts that we made, so all of the pieces fit back together perfectly, and the sections of carpets pretty much wedge themselves up against each other, so you can't even see the joint between the two pieces. The other side gets tucked back underneath the plastics, as you see me doing here, all for a seamless finish. And I left enough carpet in certain areas to ensure that the trim pieces would cover them. And once you put everything in place, you can make your final adjustment. This seatbelt was also very twisted up, so I figured, hey, while I'm here, why not straighten it out? And honestly, at this point, there's really no reason not to handle everything that you wanted to on the interior of your vehicle, especially while everything is removed, open, and easy to access. So now that we have this plastic panel back on, we can finally secure the seat belt again. But wait, before we do that, before we put any bolts back into anything, something I swear by when taking anything apart, always put it back together with some grease. What I'm using here is overkill, but it's what I had on hand, and I know it'll last the long run. Oh yeah, now we're moving along, getting these seats in, and you can watch me struggle by myself in this clip. But once I was able to manipulate the seat, I could then get a good grip on it and kind of manhandle it into position. Everything's always easier with an extra set of hands, so if you got a friend, put them to work. Maybe they can learn something new. and you'll have some help getting your job done. I don't really have that luxury because I don't have any friends, but it's okay. It works for me. Honestly, I spend a lot of time alone, and I think it's important for people to spend time alone accomplishing tasks. It can build a lot of character, and I personally believe it's one of the main reasons why I'm able to come up with so many of my own original and innovative ideas. I think it also helps people to maintain a superior sense of morality. Accomplishing things on your own helps you to appreciate the things that are available to you and the time and effort that it may have costed other people to make that available. The greatest benefit and my personal favorite is that you learn to overcome challenges and problems on your own despite your limitations and without the help of other people, which means you can deal with them as they arise and they never stack up. If you're learning from your environment, all the things around you, nature, physics, and the objective truth, then you begin to understand a lot more and things become easy. Everything becomes easy. Life itself becomes easy. And that's when you can really enjoy the splendors of life, nature, all the things that the world has to offer, and explore the depths and bounds of your own knowledge and happiness. And then it's really easy to stay happy because you don't have any problems, and you know that any problems that come up, you'll be able to overcome with less of a challenge each time. Pretty much setting yourself up to never have any problems. Yeah, well, life's not all sunshine and rainbows, Nick. Well, if that's the case, then you really ought to consider reevaluating what you're doing with your time and how you're spending it, because spending implies a cost. And unfortunately, time is one of the few things that we spend in life and can't get back. So what's it costing you? Or better yet, do you even know that there's been a cost? If you're not spending your time being productive, learning new things, and appreciating what you do have around you, then you'll never be able to utilize those things to do more, create more, and grow. There's plenty of sunshine and rainbows to be found. So speak for yourself, because all of that's easy to say sitting behind a keyboard, most likely inside or staring at the screen of your phone, instead of being outside in the sunshine with the rainbows like me. Look, you can actually see both rainbows. Look, life, it ain't sweet, but it's lemonade. What I mean is it's as sweet as you make it. The whole sky looks beautiful right now. Alright, let's get back to the truck. As I put in the driver's seat, the last and final seat, you might notice that there's no carpets in this side. And I did this on purpose so that you could see how easily the carpets go into place with the seats in. So you can see what it's like if they were never taken out in the first place. Remember to plug your seats back in if you have automatic seats, heated seats, or a seatbelt sensor. You've probably seen me grease enough bolts, but putting this in with the impact gun, remember only to snug them and then go back by hand with a ratchet and tighten them down all the way. And now it's finally time to put the final pieces of carpet in place. Notice how easily they go in, even with the seats in place. Make the final strategic cuts so that the carpet can lay underneath the rear seat. And it really just takes a little finesse, a little pull here, a little push there, and boom, everything lines up perfectly, seamless. You can't even see the seam. It just looks like one carpet, or so it seems. I guess I didn't sew it, so it's more of a joint, but whatever. We can just flip up this rear seat, tuck everything underneath it, and tuck the pieces that we just cut underneath the seat and the plastics. It goes together so easily. Check it out. It looks awesome, looks new, and once everything's back into place, you can make your final adjustments and check everything. That one's good to go, time to move on to the front. And this one was really easy too. It took a couple strategic cuts, but piece fit right back in without having to make any additional cuts. So it looks like the way that we cut it the first time was perfect. I cut out a little extra around that footrest, and look at how easily it slides into place. And not just that, look at how finished it looks. Everything looks complete and doesn't really even look like I changed anything at all. Quite honestly, it doesn't even look like the carpets would be removable. But here you can see just how easy it is to tuck everything back underneath the original trim pieces and get everything back into its original position. Even the most challenging part, which was right here behind the seat, was an absolute breeze to get into place. Once that's done, you can finally go around and make your final adjustments and tuck in any pieces that are being somewhat unruly, but as you can see here, even the parts with the bend are incredibly easy to get into place. And alas, there's one more little carpet, simply attached by Velcro, to neatly finish off the whole rear end or cargo area of the truck. Does it get any easier than that? The only thing you have to consider here is that when you're attaching the carpet to a moving part, you want to do so in its full extension position. That way it doesn't move out of position when you move the backrest or seat to a different position. Now we can finally add our finishing touches, because you know it's not complete until the original floor mats are back in there. Alright, now that we have some proper daylight again, we can finally see that now this thing is actually clean. And I'm pretty excited about this. I know it may have seemed like too much work for some of you, but cut it out, alright? It was worth it. It's good for you. It's healthy. I mean, shoot, I got a whole forearm and bicep workout just from scrubbing down all of these parts. So many parts. My shoulders are feeling it, but it was worth it. Like I said, it's healthy, and I'm big on staying healthy. I'm not going to sit here and push any sponsored products to you. I'll just tell you to drink a lot of water, fast often, eat well, and stay active. An active lifestyle is the best way to go about it. If you can stay productive while taking care of yourself, that's how you get two birds stoned at once, my friend. I really think it's essential to living a happy, healthy, and long life. Absolutely anyone can do this. Anyone can feel the sense of accomplishment that I'm feeling right now. It's just cleaning. But the deeper point to it is that when you work toward an accomplishment and achieve that accomplishment, it feels good. I mean, some people out there feel good from accomplishing things that aren't necessarily good for other people. I wouldn't recommend that. Kind of part of the reason why this world can suck sometimes, and why would you want to be the reason for that? The point is that accomplishment always feels good, and I think it's in our human nature to crave accomplishment. Let's go over a few obvious and not so obvious reasons why I'm so excited about this little project that was mostly just cleaning. Check it out. Alright, some of the more obvious reasons why this could keep you happy and healthy. I mean, look at the results. Everything is so much brighter. The fabric is bright. The plastics have a nice natural shine to them. Not like a cheap high gloss shine. More of a natural new plastic kind of finish. It just turned out beautiful. Those carpets are clean. Look at that, beautiful. Got the original floor mats down there. They're looking beautiful as well. Everything's been scrubbed clean. And I painted this little section of exposed frame underneath the foot of the seat there. Painted it black just so that didn't have any of that brown showing through. It helps, you know, create a nicer finish. And look at how easy. Look at how easy. We just pop the caps on there. It looks so natural, so beautiful, easy. Look at that. We can put some of the protective floor mats back in. Look at that. Beautiful. Slide this seat up. Pop around to the back here. Grab this floor mat. Pop it in real quick. Look at that. Easy. Easy. It covers everything right up. Got these here. Look at that finish. Like nothing. Really just tickles all the senses. I mean, it feels good. The fabric is nice and soft now. No more stains. It smells good. It looks good. It feels good. And I'm not gonna taste it, but I'm sure you could eat off of these surfaces now. I know you saw me playing with those speakers, so you know it sounds good now. It's nice because I recently lost power to all my speakers. I think one of the original terrible paper ones that were still in there had finally shorted out, causing my head unit to go into safety mode. Onto the driver's side, I want to show you why I'm really so excited about this. Check it out. What's this? What the heck? He's back. Look at this. Uh-oh. Oh, he's unresponsive. No! Bumblebee. Oh no. Before I started this project, there was a tiny bumblebee on my passenger seat before I cleaned anything. I hope this isn't the same one. Rest in peace, Bumblebee. I'll never forget you. And earlier I saw this beautiful caterpillar, and then I was walking around and I felt a little squish under my feet. And I stepped on it. But alright, I got shit to do. Just like before, how I showed you how easily the carpets went in, I'm going to do them over here on the driver's side so that I don't have to take the amp out. And I might even put a cut in the carpet somewhere on the other side to make that easier. Pull these out. I'm going to show you how quickly and easily these come out. Give it a little shimmy to the side here. Pull it out around this foot peg. A little shimmy over here. A little shimmy over there. And this is real time, guys. I'm not, oh, yeah. Forgot about that. I'm talking to you in real time. Boom. Easy. Under a minute. Move that forward and pull this out. Give this a little yank here. Disconnect it from there. Boom, look at that. Now we have access to the drain plugs, just like that. Everything just comes out real easily. Slides right back into place. Now the reason I'm so excited is because this really improves the functionality of the whole vehicle. In the future, I won't have to remove the seats to clean it this well. I'll be able to take the carpets out and then just hose the seats down, scrub them down in place, and rinse everything out down through the drain plugs. This is a really easy source of accomplishment that anyone can achieve, and obviously cleanliness and organization always improves your life. I don't have much more to say. It's really as simple as that. Be productive, stay healthy, tell your mom I love her. Tell your mom you love her. Hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to drop a comment below and catch the upcoming videos. Much love.